Hi guys, it's Juliet here from Spoilt Rotten Beads, and today I am going to show you how to make a really cute pendant. It's called a Bola pendant, B-O-L-A, Bola, and it was designed for us by a wonderful lady called Puca, who's a French designer who designed the beads that we're using to make this pendant. The beads that we're using to make this pendant are called Paros Puca beads. They're a new bead to us at Spoilt Rotten Beads, and right now they are exclusive to Spoilt Rotten Beads in the UK. And in the middle of this pendant is a very special bead called a harmony bead, which makes a lovely soft jingling sound when you move it. So I'm just going to show you the pendant right now. Here it is. Really sweet. It's a cube shape, so you make this wonderful beaded cube, and in the center is this white bead here, which is the harmony bead, and the silver beads around the outside, those are the Paros beads. And if I just be quiet for a moment and jingle this, you'll be able to hear that lovely soft jingling sound that the harmony bead makes in the center of this pendant. Can you hear that? Really sweet. So these pendants make this lovely soft jingling sound as you wear them, and I made it in this lovely silver colorway here, but we've also made it in some other colorways. This one is a beautiful ceramic green color, and then we've got a really sweet autumnal color here as well, which were both made for us by our shop manager Vivian. You'll find that there is a free pattern over on our website, www.spoiltrottenbeads.co.uk. You can download this pattern from the website, and that will guide you through all stages of making this lovely cube pendant, this Bola pendant. So you head over to the website to download your free pattern, and all of the beads and supplies, everything that I'm using today, we sell over on our website, and we ship all over the world. So do head over to the website to get all of your supplies and to download your free pattern. So I think that's all I need to say before we get making. I just love these Bola pendants. They're so pretty and easy to make, and you can see that Viv has made them in two different colorways here, this lovely autumnal colorway and this pretty ceramic green colorway, and I just love the noise they make. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you guys hear that? It's got one of the harmony balls inside it. Here's the harmony ball that's inside these Bola pendants. So you can hear that lovely noise that they make. They're so cute. So we've got these harmony balls in three different colors. We've got the white, the silver, and the gold. You'll find them over on our website. So to make one of these Bola pendants, you're going to need a harmony ball. You're going to need some Paros Puca beads here, and I'll talk to you a little bit about those in just a moment. You're going to need some size 15 seed beads, some 3mm crystals, and I've got some beautiful sparkly 3mm Swarovski crystals there that I think you can really see them catching the light. They're so pretty. You're also going to need some 3mm fire polish beads. You're going to need a jump ring and a chain if you'd like to put your finished pendant onto to make it into a necklace. And I've also got here just one size 6 seed bead, and I'm going to use that on the corner of one of my pieces to attach my jump ring to that bead, because the size 6 seed bead is just perfect for slipping on to my jump ring. So I'll talk you through how to do that towards the end of this video when I'm finishing off my pendant. So I'm going to take these guys away now because we don't need those on my bead mat, and I'm going to pop the harmony ball to one side because we don't need that right now either. And I'm just going to talk you through these Paros beads here. So if I just take a couple of these Paros beads and just pop them on the side there, you can see how they have got two holes. One hole that goes through the middle of the bead, and one hole that goes through what we'll call the top edge of the bead. And if I just turn that on the side, I hope you guys can see that. And if I put my needle through the middle hole, you'll see that if I enter the bead from the middle, then I come out at the top edge of the bead on the sort of diagonal opposite. And if I pop my bead through the hole that comes out or starts from the top edge, the edge of the bead, then I come out in the middle of the bead there. So when you get your Paros beads, it's a good idea just to check out the holes and sort of understand where they are on the bead and how these guys work, because you're going to need to understand that when you start threading them on to make one of these cute little pendants, because you need to get them all sitting the right way. So obviously you'll need to download the free pattern from our website, and that's what I'm going to be working with today. So to start off with, we need to pick up 8 of these Paros beads. On the first bead you need to pick up and go through the hole from the middle, and then the next bead go through the hole from the top, and when you do, you'll find that the beads will sit like that, like 2 little petals on a flower really. And then you just need to repeat that until you've threaded on a total of 8 beads. So I'm going to go middle to top, and then top hole to middle hole. Let these guys sit down, and you'll see that they look just like that there. So that's 4. I'm going to repeat that again, middle to top, and then top to middle, and middle to top, and then top to middle. I'll take all these down towards the tail of my thread. It's got about 1 meter or so of thread to make one of these lovely pendants, and just let these guys all sit down like that, nice and neatly, and you can see that they sit in this kind of zigzaggy line there. And now what we can do is pass through the first bead that we added again, like so. And I'm going to pass through all of the beads one more time, and we're going to pull it all round together to make a square, and then I'm going to knot my tail to my working thread. So I'm just passing through all the beads just one more time there. There we go. Just find my tail of thread. There we go, and pull this through. And if I pull these around, tighten up my working thread now. There we go. You can see it makes a square shape that's kind of like the square on the top of your finished pendant. And what I can do now is knot my tail to my working thread. And you want to tie really nice secure knot, because there's nothing worse than these knots coming undone once you've made your lovely pendant. So that's 1 knot, and I'm going to tie a double knot here now. I'm going to go through my thread a couple of times, through my loop a couple of times I mean, and pull that nice and tight. Just make sure that, I think I might have my thread hooked over one of my beads here, so let me just undo that. Yeah, I have. I've managed to get my thread hooked over one of my Paros beads. There we go. So now when I pull this tight, hopefully that will disappear. There we go. Pull that nice and tight. And just because I like to do it and make sure that I'm really secure, I'm just going to do one more decent double knot on top of that. So I've actually knotted 3 times, pulling it all nice and tight. There we go. And there's my sort of first edge of my cube. So what I need to do now is to step up through the top hole in the bead that I'm exiting now. So I'll come out at this wide gap here. There we go. Okay. I turn my work around, it's easier to see from this angle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in 1 size 15 seed bead, a Swarovski crystal, and another size 15 seed bead, and go through the next Paros bead. And those lovely sparkly crystal and that seed bead there just sit in between the sets of Paros beads there, like so. Now what I'm going to do is pick up one of my 3mm fire polish beads and go through the next Paros bead. Pull this tight, and you can see I've now got a size 3mm fire polish bead sitting here, and on this edge here we've got the 3mm Swarovski with a size 15 seed bead either side, and you can see the pattern starting to form now, and I need to repeat this all the way around my square. So I picked up a size 15 3mm Swarovski crystal and another size 15, gone through the next Paros bead. Now it is a 3mm fire polish bead. There we go, through the next Paros. You can see what I'm doing here. Size 15 seed bead, 3mm Swarovski, size 15 seed bead, and through the next Paros bead. A 3mm fire polish, and through the next Paros bead. Size 15, 3mm crystal, size 15, through the next Paros bead, and finally my last bead is a 3mm fire polish bead. Pull this tight and then get this into shot so you guys can all take a look. And you can see that's my first edge of my cube that I'm going to cover my lovely harmony ball in. So I'm now ready to move on to the next side of the cube. So to do that, I'm just going to grab my needle and I'm going to stitch through the next size 15 seed bead and the 3mm Swarovski crystal. So I'm now exiting from a 3mm Swarovski crystal. Here we go. Because if I take this one back into shot, you can see that the 3mm crystals form the join between the two sides of the cube. So now I need to pick up a size 15 seed bead, and then the next bead I need to pick up is going to be a Paros bead. Okay, and I'm going to go through the middle hole of the Paros bead. I'm going through the middle hole. There we go, like so. I'll turn it this way around, it's easier to see. And now I'm going to go through so I've gone through the middle hole, and now I'm going through the middle hole on the other side of that Paros bead, like so. And pull that tight. There we go. And so I'm now exiting the Paros bead on the side that's closest to the square that I've already made. And now I need to add on a total of 7 more Paros beads. So I'm going to go through the top hole of the next Paros bead that I pick up. You can just double check that I've done that right by popping those 2 beads next to each other and making sure that they sit in that little petal shape, and they do, so I know I've done that correctly. And so now I need to go middle hole, top hole, and then once more middle hole, top hole, and then middle hole, top hole. Let these beads all sit down here and just double check that I've done this correctly and that they're all sitting the right way. There we go. They should, if I've done this correctly, all be sitting around in those pretty petal shapes. And I think they're going to do that. There we go. Just need to rearrange them. There you go. So you can see that they're all sitting around in those petal shapes. I'll move that into shot so you guys can see that. There we go. So now what I need to do is I need to join up this little square. So to do that, I'm going through the middle hole of the first bead that I added. like so. And you can see now it's kind of mirroring that first square that I've got there. So now what I want to do is I'm going to stitch through this next Paros bead, and then I'm going to switch direction and go through the top hole, so I'm exiting that Paros bead facing towards that 3mm Swarovski crystal. So I shall demo that for you. So I'm going through the next Paros bead there. And then switching direction and going through the top hole of that same Paros bead. And I'm now facing the 3mm Swarovski crystal in that first square. Pull my work nice and tight. And now what I'm going to do is pick up a size 15 seed bead and go through that crystal. And pull tight. There we go, like so. And I'm now going to stitch through the through the size 15 seed bead that is on my second square here, and through this Paros bead, and it will come out. I'll come out in between these two Paros beads here, where I'll need to add one of these 3mm fire polish beads. So we're going to do that right now for you. There you go. And you can see I've now effectively, let you guys take a look at that, joined my two squares together there with the crystal. And what I need to do now is repeat what I did in my first side of my cube and work my way around and add in my embellishments. So first things is going to be my 3mm fire polish bead. And the next gap I'm going to add in a size 15 seed bead, Swarovski crystal, and a size 15 seed bead. Here you go, and you see I'm just going to work my way around like that, and I'm just going to repeat this until I have made my first 4 sides of my cube there. Okay, so you want to make a total of 4 of these squares, and they're all joined up together. But what I've done is I've stopped short of embellishing the half of the last one. So on this last square here, I've put my 3mm fire polish, my 2 seed beads, and my 3mm Swarovski, and my next 3mm fire polish. But on this next gaps, I've stopped short, and that's because we're going to use these gaps to join these two sides together. So we're going to sort of fold this up to make that the 4 sides of the cube. So I'm going to join the last side to the very first side, and I'm going to do that using that Swarovski crystal there on my very first cube. So I'm going to pick up a size 15 seed bead and go through that Swarovski. And then pick up another size 15 seed bead and go through the next Paros bead on that last square that I made. And pull tight, and you see that if I turn that on its edge now, that has now joined the very first square that I made to the very last square that I made there. So that's made that join. There we go. Okay, so now what I need to do is to add a 3mm fire polish bead on my next corner, There we go. And now I can add my crystals on the my crystal here. So I'm going to pick up a size 15 seed bead, a 3mm crystal, and another size 15 seed bead. Go through that next Paros bead. So I'm working on that last square now, and one more 3mm fire polish bead there on my last corner. And if I pop that on its edge, you can see it's made a little box shape. Little box shape there, all ready for that harmony ball to sit in a moment. We don't need it right now though, because we need to make the remaining two sides of our square before we can add in our harmony. So I'm ready to make the fifth side of my cube. So I'm exiting from my 3mm Swarovski crystal. I'm going to pick up a size 15 seed bead and then go pick up a Paros bead, and I'm going from the middle hole, exiting out of the top hole. Take that down to my work, and then I need to switch direction and go back through the next hole on that Paros bead that I just added. So that's now gone from the middle to the top, and now I need to pick up 7 more Paros beads. So I'm going to go from the top to the middle for the first one, and then middle to top, top to middle, middle to top, top to middle, middle to top, top to middle. And let those all fall down there to my work, and these guys are going to form my fifth side of my cube. I did all the beads on for my next side of my square, and to join up I need to go through that first bead added from the middle hole out through to the top hole. Pull this tight now, flip my beads around so they all sit correctly in that little square shape there, and I'm now going to work through this next bead here and then switch direction so that I'm exiting towards that 3mm crystal. So I'm going through the next Paros bead and then switching direction by stepping up through the empty top hole in that Paros bead. And now I can pick up a size 15 seed bead and go through that joining crystal there. There we go. And then go through the size 15 seed bead and out through this Paros bead here. There we go. So I've effectively joined that next square on, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add our 3mm fire polish bead into the corner there. Into the corner there. I'm trying to do this so that you guys can see, but it's really tricky when you're working in 3D. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. And now I'm ready to join up the next side of my square here using that joining crystal. So those 3mm crystals are all joining crystals there. Picked up my size 15 seed bead and I am going through that joining crystal, and then I shall pick up another size 15 seed bead and go through the next Paros bead. Pick up another 3mm fire polish bead on that next corner. I'm pulling all this tight. You can see starting to form that cube shape now. And I'm now up to my third side where I want to join to my next 3mm crystal. So I'm going to pick up a size 15 seed bead and go through that crystal there. Pick up a size 15 seed bead and go through the next Paros bead. Pick up a 3mm fire polish and go through the next Paros. And I'm now ready to join the final side of my cube to the final Swarovski crystal there. Picked up my size 15, gone through the crystal, and pick up another size 15. Go through the next Paros bead. And now I need just one more of these fire polish beads here in the corner. There we go. Pull this tight. It's actually starting to form quite a nice sort of firm cube shape now. That's the trickiest bit out of the way. So now what I want to do is I want to stitch all the way through my work, and we're going to join the corners together here where you've got the 3mm fire polish bead. And I'm going to put a size 15 seed bead in between each of those corner 3mm fire polish beads and zip them up together. And so I'm going to work through till I get to those. So I'm working through my crystals and Paros beads and seed beads until I get to my first corner. Through that seed bead, through that next Paros bead, there we go, and then through the first fire polish bead that I get to. And now what I'm going to do is pick up a size 15 seed bead and go through the next 3mm fire polish bead on that corner, pick up another size 15 seed bead and go through the next 3mm fire polish bead on the corner and another size 15 and through that first 3mm fire polish bead there. Pull that nice and tight, and that's zipped up that corner there, made it nice and secure. I'm going to repeat that all the way around, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my final side of my square, but before I zip it all up, I'm going to pop in my harmony ball there. But when I do that, on my very last corner fire polish bead, instead of adding a corner fire polish bead on my very last side, I'm going to add this size 6 seed bead, because that is the bead that I'm going to use to attach my jump ring. So when I get to that stage, I'm going to show you guys that so that you can see what I'm doing there. So this is my last side of my cube here, and I'm ready to add in my very last corner bead here. And rather than pick up one of the 3mm fire polish beads, I've picked up a size 6 seed bead, and I'm just going to add that one in instead, because that bead has got a big enough hole for me to get the jump ring through. So that will be the bead that I will hang this jump ring from when I'm ready to wear my pendant. So all that remains now for me to do is to work through and join up the corners with the size 15 seed beads on this last side of my square, and then I'll be ready to finish off my thread and add on my jump ring and wear my lovely pendant. So I'm going to come back to you when I'm at that stage. There is my lovely Bola pendant all made, and I'm just going to show you guys how to attach the jump ring now. So this corner here has got that size 6 seed bead on it, and that's the bead that I'm going to use to attach the jump ring. So I'm just going to take my open jump ring here and slip it on to that bead, and then close up that jump ring. There's my jump ring now on my pendant, and what I can do now is just slip on my chain through that jump ring. And there you have it. My lovely jingly pendant is all ready to wear. So I'll bring those other colorways back into shot there so you can see what fun you can have playing with the colors. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Please do leave your comments below. Don't forget to download the free pattern from our website and check back with us soon for more inspiration. Thank you guys. Bye bye.